you for letting me be human. So we just said that you were going to do the 3 minutes a day, and then you are connecting and you're just being with whatever's here. You're not trying to change it. It's as if you're being with your best friend, like you do for everybody else. You're deeply present for them. You're giving that gift to yourself of just connecting and expanding into more of Lucretia, calling in all the pieces of Lucretia, breathing in safety and trust with yourself, for yourself.
Okay. Sounds good.
And then just noticing what shows up. It might show up through emotions. It might show up through sensations. It might show up through visualizations. And that might not be visions in your head. It might be like a knowing that you have. So
Okay.
intuitive nudges, like just noticing, it will feel more like a bubbling up. Whereas when it comes from your brain, it's like it's pressing down on you. Like, I should do this. All these obligations, all those things, it'll feel pressing down. So just start to notice the difference of when it's coming from your brain and it's like kind of pushing down on you, shrinking you, versus coming up from you, and maybe you feel calmer.
Right. Okay.
You know what I mean? So it's subtle, but that's the wisdom of our body. It's more subtle, but we're learning to listen now in a new way.
Got it. Got it. Okay. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. And
Makes a
if
lot of sense.
you can just take note, like just maybe even just a bulleted list. When I did the Muse Method, calmer. And just start to note, because what you're doing is you're making it more conscious of like, oh, when I do this thing of connecting and expanding, I'm more calm and I'm more centered and I don't react as much, whatever that is. I'm not saying that's your experience, but just starting to note down so that you can make it more conscious to start to choose it more often.
Okay.
So would you be okay if I check it next week and say, hey, how did the 21 minutes, so 21 minutes over the next 7 days of investing into Lucretia, so 3 minutes a day, how did that go? What is that? Can I check in with you about that next week?
Sure. Yeah.
And
Because
if
now I'm like curious, because I'm curious to do it versus like me in the morning when I wake up, because I try to stop the thoughts of yesterday. Because you in your head, you in the head, and you in your head. So you try to stop the thoughts of, yeah, I'm just thinking of even this morning when I woke up. And I was like, just that is to calm the brain, just to calm, like just to calm down. Now this is like actually connecting and becoming more. So like what may bubble up, I'm not sure. So now I'm curious to do it. So I would.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I'm curious too. And let's just see. And Lucretia, I'm not going to make you wrong. So next week, if you show up and you're like, I forgot to do it all together, cool. What'd you notice in not doing it? I'm not going to make you wrong.
Okay.
I just want to know what you noticed in not doing it versus, oh wait, I did it a few times. I didn't remember every time. But what I noticed is whatever that is.
And especially in the morning and at night, because I do try to like calm down in the morning and at night, like to release and let go of the day. Know you did your best, things like that.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
It's not working on releasing or letting go. It's just being with it. Just noticing.
Okay. Okay.
So
Just
like
being with it.
still do your practice, like still do those practices you're doing. I'm not saying to change that. We're just adding in this the Muse method to just be with whatever your experience is without making it wrong.
Okay.
So and think of it like you're being with your best friend. Like, and that's what you're doing is you're giving yourself this gift that you freely give to everybody else. You deeply listen and you're deeply present with everybody else. I wonder what that could do for you by giving yourself that gift.
Okay. Okay.
And is there anything that would support you to remember to do it 3 times a day?
No, I'm gonna when I'm done, I'm gonna put it in here because I kind of like use this journal at night and in the morning.
Cool.
So I'm gonna put it in. I'm gonna put it in the journal.
All right. So
I'm trying.
You're doing it, girl. You're doing it one step at a time.
Okay. Okay.
So I wanted to see, is there more, like, what else would you like to explore together in this time? I just wanted to start with some of the foundational pieces of what we're going to keep adding on to. But is there something specific?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think it is a lot of me coming in touch with myself because I think I've been out of touch for a long, long time. Like a long time. The lies I've told myself.
Yeah.
You know,
Is there more you want to share about that with the lies that you've told yourself if you're as you're learning how to be in touch with yourself?
well, I'm reading this book Untamed.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
so it goes to it, and it goes back to this book that I read from Inyana Van Zant called Peace from Broken Pieces. So it's like,
Mm,
like you tell yourself, even about being in a relationship, if I was truthful with myself, I probably wouldn't even be in a relationship. You get what I'm saying? So
yeah.
stuff like that,
Mm,
like really standing in that though, like standing in that truth. So that's pretty much like my focus. It's really me, my life choices, and the lies that I told myself. But I've been out of touch because I had no direction or education in
yeah.
the well-being department. You get what I'm saying? Because of the women before me, and it's not their fault. And it's not like I'm holding on to that. It's just, it's me,
Right.
it's me. So, because if
Yeah.
I was truthful with myself, I probably wouldn't have ended up in this BS of a marriage that I'm in.
And Lucretia, let's acknowledge how far you've come because
Okay.
you've done the best you could with all that you've been given with your ancestors and just some of the generational baggage that was given to you. You
Yeah.
didn't know you even picked it up.
Yeah.
So you've done the best. And look at where you are now.
Hmm.
You're recognizing, wait a second, that's not the way. And they did the best they could, but I want more.
Right.
So
Yeah. That is
let's
very
explore
correct.
that more that you're wanting more of because
Hmm.
you're in the yes marriage right now. You're in the way you're
Hmm.
on your way out, but you're still in it
Yeah.
here now.
Hmm.
Because you said if you were truthful with yourself, you wouldn't even be in relationship.
That's correct. Yeah.
Would you be willing to be in relationship with yourself?
Yes. Hmm.
Okay. Because
Hmm.
that's one relationship, and maybe that's where your focus is right now is being in relationship with yourself because you've been running
Yes.
away from yourself from what I've heard for a very long time.
Yes. Did just right. Yes. Yes. Right. I wouldn't even, well, yeah, running away because you are, you, right. Just like not honoring, like,
Yeah.
yeah, running away. Yeah, you can say that. You can say that. Just out of touch. I feel out of touch. I felt out of touch more so than running. Like I've always
Yeah.
been like
Perfect.
grounded but out of touch. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, what is that? If you could explain that a little bit more, like you've been out of touch with yourself. So, what has that been like for you, being out of touch?
The just dishonoring myself, like what's what looked good versus what felt good. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
So, you were doing what looked good versus what felt good. So,
Right.
on the outside, it did, on the outside, it looked good. But what did
Right.
it feel
But
like?
inside it's like, you really don't even like this man like that. So why is you even with him?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. That in that book, Untamed, she talks about that. She talks about like how if you go in a room full of guys, if you go and it's true, like if you go in a room full of girls and ask them, oh, do you want a snack? They'll look at each other and they'll answer based on what the other girl answered. And then if you go in a room full of boys and be like, oh, you want a snack? They never even look up. They never even look up at you. They be like, yeah or no, just like that. You know what I mean? So it's like when she said that, it just was like I had to put the book down because I'm like, holy moly donut shop. Like when you think about that, when you think about that, you think about all the times where it actually looked good, but if you wanted to, you know what I mean? Like it
Yeah.
the whole I never wanted to be married. Like I never wanted to be married. Like I had no desire to be married. Like none. Like I never wanted. put on a wedding dress or any of that. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
What looked good versus what felt good.
Yeah. Are are you willing to start to go after what feels good instead of what
Yes.
just looks
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. This
cool?
whole
Well,
year I've been on that journey.
awesome.
Yeah.
Because you know what it feels like. You've had 17 years and being in something you never even wanted.
No. No.
And it didn't feel good because you didn't even like him.
No. No.
So so
Like
some of the ways, yeah,
I
you
knew
knew
like
what?
the first like year, you ignore the red flags. You hear women talk about this all the time. And you just like you
Yeah.
ignore the red flags. So you knew like I knew after like first year and a half, if I had to be truly honest with myself today, like I knew the first year and a half, like he was out of touch. Like he was out of touch. You know what I mean? So
Mm.
those little things though led me all the way up to here. So that's what I'm willing to work through and work and honor myself, if that makes
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Well,
Yeah,
it's funny you said he was out of touch, but then you opened up and you were like, I was out of touch with yourself. So you
that
both
part.
were out of touch.
Yeah,
And
right, right,
we're both walking alongside each other. Well, you're out of touch. I'm out of touch. Let's do this thing because everybody else is doing it.
right. It looked good. Oh, I got a man. It looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, so you said in that first year and a half, there was a lot of red flags. So, and you may not remember this. So I'm
No.
going to ask questions. Remember, you may not remember, but I'm curious if you're like, if there was anything in your body, like you felt like you were contracted, you were shrinking, you were tense. I don't know. And maybe it's more recent that you could think back to. Have you noticed that like in relationship to anybody, your ex or not your ex, well, soon to be ex, or anybody else where you felt that way, where there's a sense of you being put into a cage, like she talks about in Untamed, being like an animal in the
Yeah.
zoo.
hmm Yeah, I would say I just I don't know. It's hard to describe now, but I remember I was talking to his cousin and I was like, like what's wrong? I was asking like why he don't something
Mm.
like maybe respond or something. And then it's a cultural thing too, because he's not from America, he's from Nigeria.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool.
So the cousin put it on it being a Nigerian thing. So years later, I met a Nigerian woman that I was working for at the college. And she
Yeah.
explained to me that that's how her father act towards her, like the affection wasn't there. And she
Yeah.
explained, she was like, I knew he loved me. I knew he loved me, but the affection wasn't there. And I thought that was really interesting. But they put it on a culture.
Yeah.
But I wasn't used to that. Like I was with an American man who was very affectionate. You know what I mean? Like before that, before I got into this relationship, I had
Yeah.
a really close, I would say friend, because we wasn't in a relationship. It was more of a just a connection. I don't know how to describe it. It wasn't like a full-on relationship. It was more of just like, I don't know, sexual relationship. I don't know what it was. But when we was together, it felt good. He was so open, like it just was so different. So when I got into this, it was like totally different. And then that was like one of the red flags, you know what I mean? Because it didn't
Yeah.
feel good. And then when I was talking to like his cousin about it, and he put it on culture. And then years later, I met this lady and she put the men thing on culture too. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay, it's just culture, like I'm like, oh, it's just culture. But now I'm like, nah, nah,
It's not for you. That's for
no,
sure.
no, because that
That's
ain't
like
my
the opposite.
culture.
Yeah. Well, it's about lack of connection. You didn't feel connected.
No. Mm-mm.
And I heard you say lack of affection
Yeah.
versus that other partner that you were with earlier that felt good. He was so open and there was like an openness between you and there was affection.
Yes.
So,
Mhm.
do you know?
Communication, like everything, like everything. It just he wasn't, like we just wasn't in a relationship. He was 11 years older than me, and I was young. And I
Yeah.
started dealing with him when I was really young. So I think I got used to that. I got used to like that because it felt good, like it felt really good.
Okay, so you've had experiences where you followed what felt
Oh,
good. So
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
good.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. So
Hmm.
would you be willing to start to look for in your life where this is already existing, where it feels good, where it's open, where there's communication, where there's even maybe a little affection? Would you be
Yes,
willing to start to look for where that's showing up already?
yes.
Is there anywhere that you already could name that might where that's showing up for you already right now?
No. You talking
Okay,
about like any relationship?
yeah, in your life right now.
Well, like, um, I got like, well, the relationship with my son, like I love this kid. Like I love being around him. Like he's totally cool. We
Okay.
talk and laugh and like I got relationships that feel good. Like when I was over my friend house last night, I call her my Polish lady. So when I was with my Polish lady last night, like you know what I mean? Like it feels good. And I feel so bad for her because she went through this too. And now she just like totally shut down. She don't even want to be around no dude. So we was talking about that last night. And then yesterday when I was walking, the lady who I was walking with, she was like, "Hey, how are you?" And we started talking. And we was walking and she was telling me traumas of her ex-husband and how it's just, I was like, what is the theme of today? Like, what is the theme of today? So, I mean, like, I got friendships where, like, being over there with her last night, I was totally fine, totally relaxed, felt good, open communication. You know what I mean? Like, that's the
Yeah.
girl though, but like, far as a man, no.
It doesn't have to be with the man. Like
Okay.
Lucretia, it can even be in nature. In nature, you feel
Oh
good.
yeah, I
There's
love going out.
communication, there's affection.
Mhm.
Like it has all those things. So it doesn't have to be even with a person. We're in relationship to everything around us.
Yeah, mhm, mhm,
Like you're like, oh, in my meditation room, I feel good in there. Okay. So
mhm.
my invitation to you is to look for the places where it feels good and just bring more awareness to those places. Like start
Okay,
to just look into those places a little bit more
mhm.
and then notice where it doesn't feel good, where it feels very closed and lack of affection. Notice
Okay,
what's showing
yeah,
up in you. Just
okay.
notice it. You don't have to
No, I
change
get it
anything.
because
Yeah.
when I'm
Because what?
outside, like when I'm on my walk, or even if I
Yeah.
just go out and get in the car and go to the dam and sit by the water, I'm good. Like anywhere, it's not that I'm closed off or depressed or nothing. It's just when I know he's coming or when he's around me, I just feel so
Ah.
uncomfortable. I feel so uncomfortable.
So I want to say thank you, body, because your body's telling you that maybe this isn't the place for you anymore. And you know that because you had a
Yeah.
knowing of that when you met. You're like, 3 weeks,
Mhm,
I'm out. And it might be a little
mhm.
bit longer,
Right.
but you know
Mhm.
you're on your way because you're packing. So
Yeah,
so
box.
notice that. So where do
I
you
don't know if you
notice
can
that
see.
uncomfortable feeling?
Just when like if I know he coming in from work,
Yeah,
if
where
I
do you
notice
notice it in your body? Where do you notice it in you?
I've started noticing like this icky upset stomach feeling.
Ooh. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's like a icky upset stomach thing is
Like my
when it's
chakra, like my sacral, like right
uh,
there. I got feel like, and it's a nervousness. And I'm like, I was just totally fine in here listening to music. Listen, the deer, my computer is facing the window right here. Yesterday, I'm sitting here
yeah.
working, a deer ran past. I'm like, oh, thank you. Oh, like, oh, I was witness to that. Like, and even when I'm outside, I can hear the birds chirping. I sat here and watched the leaves fall. I'd be totally fine until he come around me. And then I'm like, ooh, like, because you don't know, like, you don't know what's
Yeah.
coming at you. You know what I mean? And it's like this defensiveness that I don't want to live in no more because I don't want to defend myself.
No, because you're on guard. It's like you have to be like this because you don't know when he's going to come around because
Right.
sometimes it could just be random.
Hmm.
So what could you do to support yourself when you don't feel good, when you have that nervousness, that icky stomach feeling like something's not right? What could you
I
do to?
usually take I usually take deep breaths to calm down, but
Okay.
still, it's still there. Like, like You almost got to be prepared in a sense. And I grew up in the city, so I grew up with that feeling that
Yeah.
I didn't notice that until years till I was living in the suburbs for years. I was walking the subway. I was walking
Yeah.
from my house to Subway and I just stopped and I was like, holy shit, I've been living in fear because I'm looking behind me. Like I grew up like that my whole entire life. My head had to be on a swivel because I grew up
Oh,
in the city of Chicago. Like it is just, it is the way it is. Even if I was to go there now, if I was to get on the train and go downtown, that'll just kick right in. And it's not bad. It's not nervous. It's not like I'm scared of nothing. It's just this natural reaction of I'll be doing this the whole time.
yeah, you got to be watching your back. I I was like getting the sense of you getting whiplash, like being like this,
Yeah.
like constantly like getting whiplash. It's like, oh shoot, that hurts.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah.
That's a lot of energy that you were living in fear and always having to check and make sure your back was covered.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I want to acknowledge what you just said. You could be looking out the window and you don't even have to look, and your body feels his energy coming.
Yeah. Because I can hear the garage open and I'm like, and that's when
Okay.
it's like, I know I got to go deeper. Like, just calm down. You'll be fine. But it's still like,
Right.
it's still.
But look,
Mhm,
I even heard it. The story begins, calm down, you'll be fine. So rather
mhm.
than telling yourself you're going to be fine, would you be open to doing the Muse method and
Yeah.
connecting? That go deeper.
Mhm.
So what if you
Right.
actually need to just be with that uncomfortable feeling and not
Mhm.
try to tell it to calm down, not try to tell it to do anything. Say, okay, I'm just going to be with you
Okay.
because
Mhm.
it's here for you, because it's telling you to get the F out.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's literally here for you. Your body's
Mhm.
talking to you.
Mhm.
And we may not have time for it today, but I want to ask, are you willing to start to listen to your emotions and your messages that your body's telling you?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay. Because I would like to also incorporate that into our work together, where a lot of people say, yes, you've got to be with your emotions. And I put it in air quotes because they're with their emotions and then they don't do anything.
Right.
So we're going to be with our emotions of saying, oh, yep, I feel the fear. I'm going to be with you,
Mhm.
but we're going to move the fear rather than just being with it. We've got to take that action because emotions are energy in motion. That's what
Emotion.
emotion
Mhm.
stands for,
Mhm.
energy in motion. And we don't do that in our society. You've already named it multiple times. We shove it down. We tell
Yeah.
ourselves, I'm going to be fine. I just need to calm down. And we
Mhm.
shove it down.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you
Mhm.
do that long enough, and it's like a pressure cooker. What happens if you don't release the valve in the pressure cooker?
It'll bust. Yeah. Pressure bust
A
pipe.
lot.
Yeah.
And maybe your body's kind of busting right now because you can't walk, you can't carry yourself forward. And yesterday, literally yesterday, you had no pain
I had no
because you're
pain.
choosing you. You're choosing you. So your body's
Yeah.
saying, yes, let's keep going.
I did. I really did. It blows my mind today. Earlier, I'm like, I still can't get over that. I just couldn't believe it. Like, didn't even stop once. Didn't even have no pain. I walked that whole trail. Nothing. Nothing. And then yesterday, when I got off the phone with you, I felt good. Like I felt so good going to get the flowers. Because it was like I did choose me. Like, even though everything come up, oh, money, oh, this, oh, that, everything come up, and it's like, no, not
Forward.
me, me, me. I
And look
felt
at
like
your body responding. Your body's telling you, yes, keep coming.
that. Hmm.
So
Yeah.
are you willing to keep listening?
Yeah. Because
Because
it's like
I'll
now
tell
I
you,
can hear. It's like now I can hear.
yeah.
Because it's like now I can, like, it ain't all this emotional, oh, he don't love me, he's not touching me, all this BS that I was hanging on to. It's like now I can hear. Like now I'm paying attention. You get what I'm saying?
Well, and would you be willing to give yourself the affection that you were seeking from him? That
Yes.
okay, cool.
Yes. That's to me, that's what, like, when I'm when I'm like in bed and I'm rubbing my legs because I put muscle relax on my legs. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, you know, like you love you know what I mean? Like it's me touching me. Like I don't crave the attention of a dude like that no more. Like I just it's I don't know if it's unhealthy or healthy or not, but like if it happens, it happens. I'm cool. But like that ain't my priority right now.
Girl, your priority, I heard it, is connecting to yourself, to gaining the connection, what did you say? Being in touch with yourself. It's not
Right.
about anybody else.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Because to me, in order to call in a partner that's going to be where you want to be, you need to create that partnership in yourself first. Is
Mm-hmm.
that
Yeah.
true?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd have heard that 100 times. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because you told me your partner, this current partner, was out of touch with himself, but so were you. So of course you there was a partner in your life that was also out of touch with themselves because you were out of
Mm-hmm.
touch with yourself. And
Right.
it's not wrong.
No.
Lucretia, it's
No.
not wrong. You did the very best you could. You didn't even want to get married, but you did what you thought you had to do because everybody was telling you this is the way. And now
Mm-hmm.
you know if it don't feel good, it's a hell no.
No. Even if I get invited somewhere and I don't want to go. Lately I've been like, nope.
So can you keep doing that? Can you
Yeah,
keep
oh
doing that
yeah.
with your body and
Uh-huh.
check in? Like
Yeah.
ask yourself, you can say yes to something and then you 5 minutes before you check in, you do the Muse Method, you're like, I don't want to go. Will you listen to what your body
Yeah.
says
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
and have your own back?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So that's gonna be your practice right now is to keep listening to your yeses and
Mm-hmm.
listening to your nos.
Yeah.
And even when you have no's, just notice how your body responds. Like, so maybe you go somewhere and you get that like I should go, so I'm gonna go. Notice what happens. That's it. Just notice what happens. Don't make yourself wrong. Just notice what
Mm-hmm.
happens when you do go because you should go.
Right. Mm-hmm.
It's not
Mm-hmm.
wrong. You're gathering information. So this is what we're doing. We're just experimenting with life again. We're playing
Okay.
and you start to gather some information so that you can continue to make choices that are in alignment with where you want to go.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And
That
sometimes
makes
we
sense.
have to make the wrong choice so that we're like, oh yeah, that's why I don't do that. Oh yeah, now
Yeah.
I remember. It's okay. Okay.
Yeah. I had a mimosa on Sunday
Yeah.
and I'm not a drinker no more. I don't smoke weed no more. I don't do nothing. And I know I don't drink. I know I don't drink. But I sat at the bar and I'm like, so I sat down and there was $6 mimosa. And if I do feel like I
Mhm.
want to drink or something, it's like a seltzer water, like the lowest of the lowest, just to be social.
Right.
Or if it's something funky on the drink menu, hibiscus is something I had when I was in Florida because it said hibiscus. I'm like, I want that.
Yeah.
And so I had the mimosa on Sunday and I drank that mimosa and everything and my whole entire being was like, you know, you don't drink. You know, you
Oh,
don't drink. If you pick up another mimosa. But then last night when I was over with my friend, she had tequila and we threw back some tequila shots and I was totally fine. I'm totally fine now.
okay. But look at the difference in your body versus those two situations. Like you had a knowing when you had that mimosa, like you don't drink. But last night it was different. Something in you was different and it was okay. So I
Yeah,
wouldn't say bad, but listening to when it's for you.
right. Drinking mimosas, I would not do. Like I'm and I it was like after the fourth sip, I'm like, you know you don't do this. Like, you know you should have done this. Like and I asked the lady, I said, what type of champagne you use in this? And I told my sister, I said they need to close that company down. That is what they making people. It was so bad. My sister was like, nah, we don't do mimosas. I don't see how people go and do it. That's their business though, but not me.
Oh, I'm with you. I'm with you. And just listen, because it was subtle. What I heard of you that was subtle. Like you had a knowing, and yet you drank. You were on your fourth sip, and you're like, I don't do this. What am I doing? But yesterday you were throwing back the shots and no problem.
Ooh, ooh. And she European, so she drink. I'm
Okay.
like, I'm conscious of her being European because she done got me drunk
Right.
before. So I'm like, I'm not doing this with you tonight, lady. Like, we gonna drink these shots, but I'm gonna drink as as much as I know, but I was totally fine. I woke up this morning fine, 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 fine. Today, now fine. Going to cook dinner after this, maybe going on a walk. Totally fine. That mimosa had me
Right.
down for like I felt like I was like drunk for 2 days. And it was about this big.
Right. But I also heard you say you were with your sister, so that might have brought some of that too. Like not just the mimosa,
No,
but also like,
I got 3 sisters. I got one little
oh,
sister.
different sister.
Yeah, no, I was talking to her on the phone. So my
Got it.
little sister is bubbly. She my favorite she my favorite, even though she be little sister sometimes.
Yeah,
But I can tell her, like her, I'm totally open
yeah,
with. I don't feel no tension with. Like I just love her to street. She's just such a little sweet little thing. She get on my nerves
yes,
sometimes. She be little sister and like cook dinner.
yes,
Right. Other
yes.
than that, she's fine. But like my big sister, my big sister make her feel tense too.
Mm,
Like she'll get on the phone and start cussing and stuff, and she'll make my little sister feel tense. And it's like ain't nothing I can do about it because we all grown and you know.
right. No, that's not your responsibility. So good job not taking over any of that. And I just want to acknowledge once again, you know what your yeses are, the people that are supportive for you. So just keep following that yes,
Okay.
that feels good
Hmm.
for now.
Hmm. Okay.
And notice when you choose something that doesn't feel good, just notice what happens. That's it.
Right. Hmm. Hmm. I've
I'm gonna
been
keep it
really,
simple.
yeah, I've been really tuning into that lately, though. I have.
Awesome. Keep
Yeah.
tuning in because I
Okay.
promise it will get louder, just like your body's getting louder and able helping you to move forward with more ease because you're saying yes to you. Your body's like, let's go.
Hmm. Yeah. It feel good. Yeah. Hmm.
Feels good.
Yeah, I
So
do.
what are you walking away with from our time together today?
To I've been hearing all week, listen to your intuition, but like now it's like honing in a little bit more. That's what I'm walking
Okay.
away with. Like and congratulating myself, like to saying yes to myself. Like and
Yeah.
like being like give yourself some grace, even more grace.
Yeah. One of the things I love to say is, and I'll do it when I'm doing the Muse method, is it's like I put on the shawl of grace. I'm imagining like the shawl of grace is being put on me as I'm doing the Muse method. Because I'm like, we are often so hurtful and unkind to ourselves and beating ourselves up.
Hmm.
So and sometimes it's subconsciously, we don't even know we're doing it, but
Right.
recognizing it now.
Hmm.
And so when the self beat up starts, it's like, okay, I'm going to connect and be with that because that was there to protect you. And maybe it's not working anymore.
Hmm. Okay.
So rather than making it wrong, the self beat up, just say, okay, I'm going to be with the self beat up that's now here. I'm going to do the
Hmm.
Muse method and connect and expand in this place.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that makes
So,
sense.
yeah. So you said honing in on your intuition. So like honoring what feels good, honoring even noticing what feels bad if you choose that because it's not wrong.
Hmm.
And then just looking for what does feel good, what is open, what is like communication, what where you feel really good, like you said, with your friends, with nature,
Hmm.
and like fostering that trust and safety in yourself because
Yeah.
you've tried it this other way, Lucretia. You've tried doing it with the way that what everybody else wanted for you,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
it led you here, but it wasn't wrong because now you know that doing what everybody else what looks good isn't what actually feels good.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I know that now. Yes. Hmm.
Yeah, and
Hmm.
and it's okay if you choose it in the future because it's part of the invitation to help you come back to yourself, to be in touch with yourself.
Hmm. Right. It was here to teach me something.
Yeah, it's just an invitation. It's helping you to grow into more of Lucretia. That's it.
Hmm. Yeah. Yep. I do
Okay.
feel that.
Yeah. So what I'll do is after our time, I will download the recording. I upload it to YouTube and it's a private link, so only you and I have access to it. Nobody else will. So you
Okay.
can go back and rewatch our session, which I do recommend because sometimes when you rewatch it, something new will come through. There's power
Hmm.
when you watch it.
Yeah.
And then I will send you just the high level overview of the work for the week, which is really doing the Muse method 3 times a day. So
Okay.
investing 20 in yourself over the next 7 days. And then just noticing what shows up as you're connecting, as you're doing the Muse Method, just notice what shows up. And even after, notice what shows up after. Like,
Okay.
wait, now I'm connected, my ex-husband isn't affecting me as much. Huh, that's
Mm-hmm.
interesting. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Just notice what's showing up after, if anything.
Okay.
And if
Okay.
it's nothing, that's okay.
Okay. That sounds good.
All right. And then
Yeah.
let's just double check for next week. So is Wednesday at 4 a good consistent time for you for us to meet?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Even
'Cause
yeah, even though like I would like to do some in person, at least.
yes, yes, yes. And
Yeah.
we can do the in-person, not next week, because next week I'm in Riverwoods next week, house sitting. But the following week, the week of the 13th, or that's when we'd have our next session, we can do that in person.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, Wednesday.
So I'll put the address in there for the 13th, and it's the place where you went to for the full moon circle.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. I have a space that I meet at in my parents' house.
Okay.
So
That sounds
this
good.
girl, I'm back at home, and it's very humbling going back home. Very humbling. And get the space to recover so that I can do more of what I'm called to do.
That's
So then
good.
I've got you on for next Wednesday, and I'll plan to see you on Zoom next Wednesday, and then we can do in person after that.
Okay. If you can send me the Zoom link a little bit earlier so I can like email it to my work computer or I'll figure something out. Yeah.
Well, if you want to forward the one I emailed to you so that you can just put it in your saved
Oh,
messages.
would it be the same one?
Yeah, it'll be the same one.
Okay.
And then I
So
also
good.
included it in the calendar invite that I sent you. So I
Okay.
sent it to Miss Jordan. What's the email? Miss L Jordan
Mhm.
1@gmail.com. Is that
Yeah,
the
I
best
got it.
email?
Uh-huh.
Okay,
No,
cool.
yeah, I got it.
So if you
Uh-huh. No,
accept
it's in my work.
Okay, if you accept the calendar invite, then it'll show up on your calendar, and then the Zoom link will also be in there.
Okay, it should be in there then. I'm good.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
Now
right.
I'm like that. I feel organized now, so I look forward to next week. I look forward to see what comes up actually. I'm curious.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Yeah, keep that curiosity alive. Just
Yeah, right.
keep breathing.
Yes. Thank you so
All
much. I
right. Well,
appreciate
I
it.
will. Oh, you are so welcome. I'll see you next Wednesday. And feel free, if you need support in between now and then, know that you can reach out to me. I offer
Okay.
support in between sessions, and it can be you're celebrating something. You
Okay.
can celebrate with me. It can be you have a question. It could be that you're freaking angry, and I may not respond right away because
Okay.
sometimes you need a little bit to be with it, and then you may come up with your own answer and message me back and say, "I got it." I'm like, "Cool."
Okay. Okay.
So just know I offer that support in between.
Okay. All righty. That sounds good. Because I might need it. All
All
righty.
right.
Appreciate you.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
you are so
See you next
welcome.
week.
Oh, and one last thing.